Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Catholic Cats Podcast. I am your host, Benny Towles, and on tonight's episode, we talk with Nick DiMeo. We will be discussing the importance of having an accountability partner in the Catholic faith. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Nick DiMeo. So, Nick, what do you think about accountability in the Catholic faith?
Well, first off, Benny, I just wanted to thank you for having me on your first show, and I really wish you the best going forward. As far as accountability goes, I really can't see a more tangible, relatable, and important concept for the young adolescent Catholic trying to grow in their faith. You look at some of the saints, such as St. Francis Xavier and St. Ignatius. They were actually roommates in college, and they both ended up being two of the most influential saints of all time.
I do believe that me and you actually have the same accountability partner in David West. Isn't that true?
Yes, it is. David and I are great friends.
Yeah, David actually helped Pat out really, really well, and now he's helping me. So he's kind of like a Jedi, helping me train.
Oh, yeah, he's been training pretty hard on his Rubik's Cubes as well. I'm pretty sure he's getting some Jedi mind tricks going with that.
Yeah, he gets into the weirder stuff. But let me ask you another question. I'm going to ask all my guests when they come on the show.
Fire away.
So what brought you to the Catholic faith?
So I grew up actually with two Catholic parents and was really raised in the faith, but in a very superficial way. Really didn't know why we did the things we did or any scriptural basis for the church's teachings. But when I got to college, I really started being questioned by my Protestant friends about why we do some of the things that we do and why we believe some of the things we believe. So I really started to meet with the priest we have here at the UK Newman Center, Father Steve Roberts, and he really helped to clear a lot of this stuff up for me, got me to read a lot of books that affirmed my faith and set me on fire for Christ.
That's a great response, and I'm going to ask you a couple more questions right off the top. So you went to Seek in San Antonio, Texas. For me, it was an experience of a lifetime. God really, he talked to me, but I really just got more friends that can hold me accountable, like Phil. I met him there. Blake, I knew Michael already, and I've known you, and we hung out in the hotel room together. So what did Seek do for you as a Catholic?
I think the biggest thing that Seek did for me, outside of what it was probably designed to do, was to help me to reevaluate a lot of the aspects in my life that I might have thought I was doing to the best of my ability by becoming the man God destined me to be. But when I was able to see other Catholics my age from across the country living in a very spiritual, devout, loving way, and spreading that throughout their campuses and throughout their communities, it really kind of did a 180 on a lot of the mediocrity that I was allowing take over my life, and set me back on fire for the faith, and kind of renewed some of this vigor that I had, some of this zeal that I had going forward, and that I aim to bring to every aspect of my life.
Yeah, that was a great response, and my other question is, when kids come to college, they go to the fraternity and sorority life, and there's no problem there. My sister was an AD Pi, my brother was an ATO, my other brother was an ATO at NKU, and if I came to UK, which I got a BCTC, I'm getting a film degree, I would probably want to be an ATO. Nothing against your fraternity. But what do you think we could do to make fraternities more Catholic-based?
Well, Benny, what's interesting is that a lot of these fraternities that are national and that have such a wide influence on college campuses actually are based in Christian principles, which is very kind of counterintuitive because of the way a lot of these fraternity men and sorority women are living their lives. But I think, honestly, going back to the core principles, the core foundations of these fraternities, and really explaining what fraternities were meant to be and why they were created would go a long way in kind of maybe reframing what it means to be in a fraternity and what it means to live a fraternal life.
You just have a lot of responses. I mean, you are very good at this, and I tell you this, and I, there's the focused missionaries, but I kind of consider you as one. You were considering actually being a focused missionary. What happened? Are you going to do it, or are you not going to do it?
Well, to start off, I am not half the man that a lot of these focused missionaries are in the way they live their lives. It's truly incredible the kind of impacts that they have in so many different realms and in so many different people's lives. So I'm not going to pretend to be as on fire and as committed to the faith as they are. I will say, though, that I really did struggle with the question of pursuing being a focused missionary next year or not, and really came to the realization through a lot of prayer that it ultimately wasn't in the cards for me. What that means is not that I don't have a ministry going forward, especially next year, but that my ministry might look a little different. So I have nothing but respect for focused missionaries and other types of missionaries, and I aim to do a lot of the same type of work, just in a different setting.
Yeah, like I think about priesthood all the time, and everybody should think about priesthood. Every Catholic man should. And we were in the car. I was in the car with my dad. My dad's like, "Not everybody can be a priest, Benny. We need to reproduce." And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, yeah." And honestly, I don't know if being a priest is for me. Patrick would disagree with me on some point, but I think God has put me in this world to help the entertainment business, and help make that more, not necessarily more Catholic, but more Christian based. And there's a lot of shows that show a lot of inappropriate scenes, and it's just some of the storylines are just inappropriate. And I want to appropriate rise, that's even a word. I want to appropriate rise Hollywood. I want to make it more Christian, and I want to bring basically Hollywood to Kentucky. So that's what I want to do. I want to congratulate you, though, on getting into what school did you get into again?
Kentucky.
I mean, you are becoming a doctor now. What's that school called?
The University of Kentucky College of Medicine.
Yes, that. I want to just congratulate you on that. It's a huge accomplishment. You're probably going to be saving lives every day. You're going to see some sick stuff, and you're going to be kind of living like Jesus. Jesus helped a lot of people, and so.
Well, that's high praise, but I don't know if I'd go that far. I appreciate it, though.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you for being on my show. We usually would answer questions from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and stuff, but we're just getting up out of the surface. And once we explode, we're gonna get a lot of questions, and you're probably gonna be back on the show here in a couple months if it keeps going. But ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick DiMeo. Coming up next is the reason why I am doing this podcast. I've decided to do a Catholic podcast because our world needs more Jesus in it. The reason why it's a Catholic podcast and not a Christian podcast is because we will be talking more about the things that Catholics practice and believe in the masses. But don't get me wrong, you don't have to be a Catholic to listen to this podcast. You can be anything you want. We will be talking about Christian music, and I'm not going to say not being a Catholic isn't cool. Matter of fact, I have a lot of friends who are Baptist and Protestant, but I'll probably repeat the phrase, being Catholic rocks, because it sure does. And maybe some of you will have your hearts changed. The last thing I want to say is if you have any questions, not just about Catholicism, but about anything, my team and I will do our very, very best to answer them. Facebook me at Benny Towles or tweet at me at BennyTD1. And our team is very good at giving advice. I hope you've enjoyed episode 1 of the Catholic Cats podcast. Next week, Hector Aponte will be our guest, and he will be talking about falling from the faith and rising up to it again. Hector is a very, very awesome person. All the names I've mentioned are people that I know at Newman. Blake and Phil, I love y'all. I love everybody that knows who I am, and pretty soon, this will be the best amazing grace that you could ever have. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Benny Towles, and I'm signing out. I love you, and may God bless. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now at the hour of death. Amen. Goodbye.